What's going on, guys? Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I shot the original video that you're about to see. Unfortunately, going back reviewing the footage, we had an issue where it didn't catch any audio. So I do apologize about that. So we're going to remake it real quick for you guys because it's by and large, it's about the same. What you'll see, the car looks a little different than it did at the time, but that's okay. Because by and large, it's the exact same information. So the video you're about to see is us pulling the transmission out of the Mustang, thankfully. So we are going to be replacing it with this unit right here. This is a T45 out of like a 96 to 98 Mustang, where basically everything needs to be swapped out. We have all like the pedals and whatnot. So yeah, we're in a good spot when it comes to that. Also from that time, I don't know if I had showed you guys in the original video or not, we did get the clutch. We're just gonna run like an eBay style clutch that will be utilized going forward, as well as at the time, I know I probably would have said like, oh, I don't have this done, but I did also get the flywheel machined from a local shop. Always try to buy local with that kind of stuff and avoid buying new parts when we can. So sit back, relax, enjoy. It took me like 9 hours to pull the trans out of that car, but I was kind of also taking my time. The hardest part by far, so it was a 4R70W transmission in the car. The by far hardest part of the entire removal of that transmission was the torque converter bolts. So I tried and tried and tried. On the convertibles, there's an additional X brace that runs underneath. Between the X brace and the location of the rear sump on the oil pan, there's like very little room to get in there, pretty much at all. I couldn't even slip the trans off of the torque converter first to try to do that. What I ended up having to do, which there's not really a ton of footage of in the actual video, is I had to take an air chisel and actually chisel the nuts off of, basically split the nut with an air chisel and chisel it off so I could actually pull the torque converter out with the transmission. So definitely a huge pain. I would definitely say if this is going to be something you're attempting in your garage, okay, or outside, as some people do, okay, definitely the very first thing you should do is try to get those torque converter bolts loose. Okay, whether you're doing an automatic to an automatic swap, automatic to a manual swap, any situation where you need to remove the torque converter, the first thing I would recommend is removing those bolts. If you can get those, or I should say nuts, if you can get those nuts removed, then you'll be okay to continue moving forward with the rest of the trans swap, because outside of that portion, it would have just fallen out. Also, in a couple videos, you'll see some other things. The back two bolts at the top, okay, so if I were to look like right up here, okay, those bolts are an absolute pain. I would recommend, if I were you, okay, while doing this, to remove the intake. I wanted to avoid it because at the time I didn't want to screw around with anything like that. I had some bad experiences with intakes, but there's some more information that you guys will see coming forward where we're gonna have to get over that. So if it were me, I would pull the intake. Once you pull the intake, it's two 13mm bolts that come right out. Very, very simple. It's just very difficult to do with the intake on the car. Now, if you are not going to put the intake, if you're not going to pull the intake, okay, when reinstalling, I would highly recommend to not reinstall this bolt. Okay, that was the bolt that I had such a very difficult time getting to with the intake on the car. The passenger side, you can kind of get your hand in there with like a flexi ratcheting wrench, but the other one was virtually impossible. I had to go underneath the car, get a really weird set of wobbles and extensions that was like 4 foot long, and I think I had to get the 1/2 inch impact out because through all the extensions there's torque loss. And that's basically how I ended up getting it actually out of the car after multiple different attempts and trying. It was very difficult to do with the transmission in the car. I had already removed the transmission cross member, dropped it down, and it was still very difficult. So it's something I would be very cognizant of and very careful of as you proceed with this job. But beyond that, hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and we'll have a lot more coming soon. Okay, see you guys afterwards. So we're not going to get the interior installed today. We're going to pack that up for another day. So now everything's prepped and ready for, more or less, for the stick swap. So I'm going to do a little bit of research into making sure that we've got everything for that. We're going to rebuild that stick transmission, and then we'll go from there. So thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, because that sucked. All right, see you guys next time.